Good morning, Hollywood Times viewers. We are honored to welcome an Emmy-winning executive producer, showrunner, producer, and director, Pamela Caragol. Did I pronounce that right?
You sure did.
Yay, I'm getting so much better. Well, to all my viewers out there, I had the privilege of meeting Pam last night at a screening of episode 1 of the new docuseries Supernatural. It's narrated by Benedict Cumberbatch and executive produced by James Cameron, currently streaming on Disney Plus. So, what is it like to be an executive producer on an amazing docuseries like Supernatural?
It's an honor because I get to work with some of the most talented directors of photography, writers, producers literally in the world, because it is a specialized genre. Natural history filmmaking is a tough one to just say, oh, I'm going to go from doing comedy to knowing how to film a very specific lizard in Brazil. So it's a very specialized world. And, National Geographic has partnerships with really the best natural history filmmakers on the planet. So I feel really lucky that I get to guide and give input and share, this sort of collaboration with so many talented people.
Jeez, it's amazing. Thank you for all that information. I also wanted to know, like, how many different locations and countries did this docuseries take place in?
So over the course, starting in around 2019 in the spring, right when COVID hit, great timing,
Mhm.
we started kicking off the series with probably around 4 or 5 shoots, international shoots, and then actually had to call those teams back because COVID was new. We didn't know what it meant for
Wow.
our teams traveling to international remote locations. We had to rethink what our COVID protocol was and then start again. We figured it out. It was a very massive effort between all the Nat Geo team and our production team at Plimsoll from the Bristol, UK. And we came up with a plan to again travel some of the world's best directors of photography from the UK. But we also decided to partner with some local cinematographers as well in places like Brazil and elsewhere on the planet.
Wow.
Overall, we had 80 shoots that traveled to 25 countries. So, yeah, once we figured out how to deal with quarantines, filming protocols, collaborating with local filmmakers, a lot of people working from home, we started getting the footage in and started seeing these amazing, rushes and highlights from the field, which was really exciting.
I mean, it must be stressful enough with your job, and then to have that on top of, this whole COVID, I can't imagine. Did you, like, get gray hairs?
It was it was shared stress that maybe made it a little bit better. I mean, one of the things about making a natural history film is it's such an incredible collaboration. Everybody gets their hands in it, everybody from production management to the legal side to researchers, standards and practices folks, people at Disney, people at National Geographic, people at Plimsoll, and Jim Cameron's documentary team. Everybody was involved in that crazy process.
When us as viewers, we can't imagine what it's like, you're making a movie with actors and animation, you're drawing it. What is it like doing these docuseries with animals? You just never know what they're going to do. How do you do that?
No, it is really interesting. I mean, we're filming in tricky locations,
Yeah.
and we're working with animals that can be quite elusive.
Mm.
I would say one part of the secret sauce is having really great relationships with local experts
Okay.
who know the animals intimately and can work with our directors of photography to not only find the animals, but then help the animals and the photographers get comfortable enough with each other where the behavior is not impacted, because obviously we only want to film natural behavior. So, you know, whether it's a 3-day boat trip up the Amazon to film nesting river turtles, or trekking into the Alps to film ibex that climb up incredibly high dams,
Ooh,
or in freezing forests to film flying squirrels that you saw
I
last night.
know.
You know, these teams, as I say, it is highly specialized. So they are amazing human beings that we get to work with on a daily basis.
I took a friend with me last night, and I'm 62 years old, and I learned more last night in that hour series than I had in my whole life in school about these critters. It's phenomenal what you guys are showing us, and I've seen a couple episodes last night. And folks, let me tell you, it's on Disney Plus. If you don't have Disney Plus, get it, because this is the most amazing show you have to share with your kids, your grandkids, everybody. It's amazing. It makes us respect nature as well too.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting about Supernatural is that there's a twist. It's got a little bit of an attitude. I don't know if you noticed that in Benedict Cumberbatch's amazing storytelling,
Yes.
but he really brought such a flair to the storytelling, and as well as all of us that were involved in the writing of these stories, and sort of crafting the story not only to be driven by all the latest new science, but also all the good tenets of good storytelling that National Geographic is so well known for. We want to educate and illuminate, but if we're not entertaining our audience, we haven't done our job. So hopefully you've seen 3 episodes now, it
Yes.
sounds like.
Yes.
You're learning, but maybe you might be laughing a little bit along
Oh.
the way. I did hear a lot of wows last night
Hmm.
among the crowd, a lot of, "Oh my gosh, is that for real?" I was hearing a lot of those kinds of reactions,
Me
and that's
too.
what we were hoping for. So,
I think they were called fireflies, right? That scene in
yes,
Mexico, that was beyond. I couldn't even talk. I was like mesmerized. I couldn't even blink.
it's magical. It almost transports you to another world. We really wanted to take the viewer and give them an immersive, almost psychedelic experience, like inside the mind, inside the psyche. What
Uh,
are these animals experiencing? What are they seeing? What are they smelling? And our partners at this amazing VFX company, DNEG, DNEG, who are our Oscar award-winning company, did the what we call light touch graphics, because really they weren't the kind of graphics that DNEG made for Dune that they won the Academy Award for.
wow.
They were much simpler, but they were really well done, and they were based on science that came from researchers globally, around the world, who provided that, you know, hardcore new latest and greatest science for those VFX to sort of impact how we put the viewer into the mind's eye of the animal.
Wow. I wanted to know too, what were a few things that you learned for the first time after watching, this docuseries?
I mean, I learned so much every day working on Supernatural, but I mean, some of my favorites are the scuba helmet lizard. That was brand new science. We think it had never been filmed before. I mean, imagine this, a lizard that breathes bubbles of air that coalesce on its scaly skin. It's incredible. Um, there is a caterpillar in one of the episodes that fools um, uh, hundreds and hundreds of ants into thinking that it's one of them by singing to them. And the ants actually feed it and take care of it. Those are some of my favorites. There is a vampire jumping spider sequence.
Ooh.
It's in our episode called The Mating Game, which is all about how animals find their mates and succeed in making the next generation. And this vampire jumping spider sort of gets to be attracted to the opposite sex by smelling like human blood. And the way it gets to smell like human blood is it feeds on mosquitoes.
Oh,
So there are some dark stories, there are some lighthearted stories, There are definitely moments that will make you laugh. I think one of my favorites are the burrowing owls that you saw last night.
Oh,
What'd you think of that moment?
I was like, I'm just like, oh my God, they're gonna die from those darn buffaloes. I love buffaloes, bison. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then he lays down. I'm like, they're gonna die. And then all of a sudden it's like, what? What is that sound? Was that a rattlesnake? No way. God is amazing. That was
Yeah, I think too when they spit out the pellet,
yeah.
because they eat everything whole,
I
I
know.
just really enjoyed I enjoyed that moment. I just feel like, the kids that we have in our lives and the kids in us really, really enjoy watching a burrowing owl throw up a hard pellet.
Yeah,
I don't know why that's
there was a
for
guy
this.
behind me going, he's not going to. Oh my God. Really? And he was going, he was making the sound. And I was like, I go, I'm gonna throw up because he's making the sound. It was hilarious. It was worth the price of
See,
admission.
we really wanted to make it interactive.
You
See,
did.
like
That was hilarious.
I
That
guess
was
the
so
only
good.
other thing I would mention too is, as Jim Cameron, as our sort of, guiding executive producer, we all know how obviously Jim cares so much about the planet and cares so
Mhm.
much about the natural world. But in addition to that, he is a tech guy and he
Mhm.
really has a lot of respect for the teams that went out there, into the field using really bespoke new technology. And sometimes it was rigging one technology with another technology to figure out, using remote infrared PTZ cameras to record those cute little burrowing owlets, under the ground, or ultraviolet sensitive lenses that revealed those glow in the dark squirrels. So, technology has advanced so much. And what we're trying to do at National Geographic is really harness the power in a very bespoke way to tell stories that people have not seen before. So we blow their minds.
No kidding. And another thing that really took my breath away and made me go, no way. My friend and I talked about it the whole way home was the part about the trees and the roots and a tree dying.
Yeah.
I was like so taken by that.
Yeah, it's such a new area of science that people are just now starting to understand that trees do actually speak to each other. That, I think all living things have language in some form or another. That one was really challenging. The team, do you remember the glows on the trees that
Yeah.
were sort of the green
Yes.
glows? That was not VFX. They did that in the forest by projecting light onto the actual trees.
No way. We
Yeah,
wondered.
they
That's
just they
amazing.
just tried to do something new and it was kind of cool.
It
Yeah, all
was.
kinds of interesting techniques being used by very, very creative, talented people.
Yeah, because we like to go, like my grandkids and sons like to go out and hike and stuff. And their father passed away about 5 years ago, and we planted his ashes with the tree. So I can't wait to show them that, to know that their dad is down there talking with them trees, in the forest of Arizona.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a very deep natural world that we're a part of. And it is just such a privilege to be able to share those stories. I really hope that people enjoy Supernatural and really dig into all the episodes because, each episode sort of tackles a different realm. One of my favorites is called Impossible Journeys, and it's really about how animals move around the planet. And of course, we know that animals migrating about around the planet also can share with us and reveal really the state of the planet because they know it better than we do. So by traveling with these animals that are moving around the planet in different ways, there are many, many interesting things revealed. So it's not I don't think it's the one of the first two on the list, but I hope people will, really dig into the series to go on some pretty amazing adventures with us.
Wow, it's what I've seen so far. I can't wait. I wanted to watch more last night, but I go, I gotta get some sleep. I can't
Yeah.
finish watching
No,
them.
good
So
sleep is always
yeah,
important.
I'm gonna make sure that me and the grandkids all watch them all this weekend because I want to watch them again. That's the thing about it. You'll miss something. You start talking because you're so engaged. That's what I love about streaming. You can go back and watch it because you'll miss something, guaranteed. There's just so much going on. My brain was just all over the place.
Yeah, your brain was vibrating, right?
Yes. Woo, in a good way.
We like to do that to you guys.
That's
Make
what I love
everybody's
about
brain
Nat Geo.
vibrate
Exactly.
in a really fun, visceral way, and hopefully laugh and raise your eyebrows. And on occasion, we like to, shed a tear too.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
tears too. Yeah, and the tears are good tears.
of emotion, good tears.
Good tears.
Exactly.
Exactly. So how do you know how many, like when you start out, how do you know how many episodes? Are you only allowed so many, or because it takes time? How does that work?
You really
Episodes.
start thinking about what your organizing principle is for the stories you want to tell. And we felt that 6 episodes felt right. But I can tell you right now, we could do another 6 in a minute, because there were stories we had to leave. We had to put aside stories. They didn't always fit into the themes that we developed. And then we started thinking, oh my, wow, we could really delve into the supernatural sort of way of going inside the animal's experience. So who knows what the future brings for supernatural if
Season
people
2.
enjoy it enough. If people enjoy it and watch it, you
Oh,
never know. Fingers
it's going
crossed.
to go. Definitely. There's no way this is not going to just keep on going. And they should show it in schools. It's amazing.
Thank you.
It really is. So not to get off the topic, but I saw an amazing photo on the internet of someone named Pamela holding an Emmy for Secrets of Wales. That was an amazing show as well. I mean, talk about that moment, when you heard the announcement that, that you guys, what was that like?
Yeah. It was an exciting moment for everybody on the team, everybody who played such important roles on Secrets of the Whales, which is also streaming on Disney Plus.
Yes.
If you're a whale lover, it's a really intimate series that really takes you into what we call animal culture. We think as humans we're the only species that have culture, but we're learning so much more about other animals have just as much culture as we do, whether it's teaching, learning, language, communication, the way we eat, what we eat. That's all about animal culture. Secrets of the Whales resonated for people, and we're so proud. And we're so proud to win National Geographic's first primetime Emmy for Best Documentary Series. So that was a very exciting first. Collaborated again with the amazing Jim Cameron and his team on Secrets of the Whales, and the incredible team at Red Rocks, based in the Washington, D.C., Maryland area, who collaborated with Nat Geo photographer Brian Scarry and his vision to bring the world of whales alive. Being on the stage as part of the immediate team, winning that Emmy was so much fun. It was a real, chills moment, and it's sitting up on my bookshelf. And I'm just proud that I got to be, part of the guiding, force behind the vision of Secrets of. We have more Secrets of to come. I don't know if you've heard that. So, and Jim Cameron is also going to be our guiding executive producer. So the next one up is Secrets of the Elephants next Earth Day.
Oh, no. Oh my gosh. You guys are amazing. Amazing.
Working on it as we speak. I have a cut that I'm watching when we finish our interview. So
oh, thanks for sharing that. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Will that be for next year sometime, or you have an idea?
So the Secrets of is part of our Earth Day celebration at National Geographic and Disney Plus.
Cool.
And so I believe our effort is to celebrate a different species each year on Earth Day with a new installment of Secrets of. So next April, it will be elephants. And then I'm allowed to say this. I think it's been announced that the following year will be Secrets of the Octopus.
Oh my goodness.
Those are already, in process. They're filming right now, Octopus in Indonesia as we speak.
Oh my gosh, I love elephants. One of my favorite all-time animals. Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
You're
And
going to learn some really new, amazing science about elephants when you watch this series.
oh, I can't wait. Can't wait. I wanted to ask you, who is your mentor in your life of work? Do you have a mentor?
That is such a good question. I've been lucky enough to have many mentors. And, many as I was coming up as a producer, director, writer, or when I was an associate producer, I had the chance to work for so many different talented people who were, maybe at that next stage, above me. But I guess I would also say that I'm not a hierarchical mentee mentor. I feel like I learn from our coordinators that I work with back at home at Nat Geo. I feel like I learn from our production managers. I learn from the senior vice presidents I work with. Um, I literally, if I stop learning, that's the end, right? So for me, I think being mentored just means always learning, keeping my heart and mind open, and always growing as a storyteller. So I guess I'm just really blessed. I've had too many mentors to mention just one.
Is there an amazing story that you're looking forward to telling in your career to come?
Um, I am working on so many incredible projects right now. It's almost hard to pick a favorite. I do feel a little bit like that mother-child thing, like you never wanna pick your
Right.
favorite.
Yes.
Um, but I will say I am working on a project that is, um, a series about matriarchs, in the wild, and the entire team is women, and it's the
Oh,
first time it's the first time it's ever been done, because natural history filmmaking has generally been a very male-dominated world,
yeah.
and I'm talking everybody, the directors of photography in the field, the producers, the writers, the composer, the music supervisor, my colleagues at Nat Geo.
Wow.
It's an amazing group of talented women coming together to tell the story of power of females in the natural world. Gotta say, I'm pretty excited about that one, and that'll be on
Oh,
Disney.
oh, I can't wait to talk to you about that here in the future. Oh my gosh. I'm so
I
excited.
can't wait to tell you more about it. We're in mid-edit and wrapping up production right now.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. Wow. You hear that, women? Go.
It's fun. It's fun to be part of the sisterhood, that's for sure.
Yes, it is.
Love working with I like working with everybody, but it is really unique. It's unique to have an opportunity to work with a natural history series that is a women-led team.
Yeah, it's gonna be phenomenal.
Thank you. Keep your fingers crossed for us.
Eyes, legs, everything.
All digits.
Yes. I also read too that you're living in Vero Beach. How is that?
I go back and forth between Vero Beach and DC. I spent
Mhm.
almost my entire adult life in DC, and during COVID, I think so many of us wanted a change.
Mhm.
And I have very close family there, and I really wanted to be close to family. I guess I was having an empty nest syndrome thing with my son going off to work for Microsoft in Seattle,
Wow.
and being so far on the
Yeah.
other side of the country. So it's nice going back and forth from like a small, Atlantic coast town, back to, my colleagues in Washington. So it's a nice yin yang.
That's great. And do you have animals?
My dog Cooper
Oh,
is,
Cooper.
yeah, with a friend right now. He's a Portuguese water dog. He's an old man. He's 13, but he still
Aw.
gets very excited to go walk on the beach in the mornings when on the few occasions I can get him out at sunrise and do an early morning beach walk.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Oh, well, do you have any closing words for us today about the supernatural?
I guess, honestly, I'm just very appreciative of you getting the word out about this series. It is different. It is not the expected natural history or wildlife series. I hope people give it a chance to experience something new, and keep their hearts and minds open. I think they're going to enjoy it. And I hope that everybody, checks out Supernatural on Disney Plus.
Very good. Is there also written media we can go to? And how do we follow you online?
Well, social media is not something I do a ton of.
There you go.
I'm a little bit on Instagram, a little bit on Facebook. That's about my extent of social media. But um, I think the best thing is to follow National Geographic's all of our Instagram is huge. We're everywhere on social media. So I think that's always the best way to stay tuned for all the great, amazing stories that we're telling at National Geographic.
We will definitely, any kind of links we have for Nat Geo, I will put them out in Disney Plus. Like I said, folks, it's not expensive. Disney Plus is one of the best what you get, and National Geographic is amazing to watch all these great shows like Secret of the Whales, which was amazing.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today.
It was so much fun. Great conversation. Thank you for starting my day off with such a lively back and forth. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.